with etch a sketch. A line appears magically, shaking upside down. It's gone, you'll see. Oh, heart, etch a sketch. Draw anything your mind can see, anywhere you happen to see. Oh, heart, etch a sketch.
Hi, everybody. Uh, Just Guy, thank you for coming in. T. Marie, always a pleasure. Thank you for being such a supportive person. I did not have a good night's sleep. And just start off by saying that I have no idea why, because everything was going okay. But something I did want to just get off my chest. Last week, let me backtrack for a minute. I've had really, 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 really bad experiences since I've come to the Philippines. Some have exacerbated my post traumatic stress disorder. Now, saying that, I've had some really, really, really great experiences since I've come to the Philippines. So, let me say that. My biggest issue since I've been here has not necessarily been the people. Macombale. Hello. How are you? All right. Welcome. Nice to meet you. I don't know if this is a new name, but hi. I'm just going to, pardon my English, I'm going to bitch for a few minutes here and then I'll go into other things. But if anybody wants to rant, like, just let me know. I'll drop the link. Like, I've been holding this stuff in for a minute now, so I just need to get some stuff off my chest. And like I said, you rant about whatever you want to rant about. Just give me a moment. So, the only people I've consistently had a problem with are at the immigration office, at this one particular immigration office. And unfortunately, it's the closest one to me. That immigration office is about 3 hours away. The immigration office where I've always had pleasurable experiences is about 6 hours away. So if I go to the one that's 6 hours away, I usually stay in that town for a day or two because it's a beautiful city. The other one, I go in, get whatever I got to get, and go out. I say that to say this. I almost got a negative perspective on the Filipino people because of my experiences with immigration. But fortunately, for the most part, those are the only people I have issues with. I mean, it's my opinion, but I think these are people that get government jobs and they feel like they have a job for life and they feel superior to people because people need them to provide a service that should just be standard service. But it gives them almost like a God complex, if you will. Um, that's the little backstory. Anyway, I live in a subdivision of the province capital city. So last week, me and my wife were on a multi-cab, which is like a bus, but it's not a bus. It's just like it's built like a school bus. I should have pulled up a picture to show you, but it's basically like their transit service for like just in town, and it can hold up to about 15 people. So last week we have to go into the main city, which is called Malaybalay, which translates into my home. That's a long story because the Spanish conquerors back in the 1500s were stupid. Anyway, we get on, and then I see this couple, and they were not Filipino. They were, it was a white couple. And the guy starts talking to the driver for like, I want to say like 5 minutes. And I'm wondering what's going on. So it wasn't a crowded multi-cab. There were just a few people on the bus, and there was a woman. She's sitting on the bus, and they're small, they're really compact. So it's not like a regular bus where you can like kind of move around or stand in the aisle. They're very compact. So there's a woman on a bus, and she has an infant baby, not like a toddler, but I mean like an infant. This baby could not have been more, I say at the most 4 months old, but I'm thinking more like 3 months, maybe 2.5 months. So the guy, after he finishes talking to the bus driver, because the woman, she just stayed off, she didn't get on. So as he's getting on the bus, and you get on from the back of the bus, like the back area, you enter from the back of the bus, you don't enter from multi-cab, I'm sorry. So you enter from the rear. The woman sitting there with her baby. The guy actually, he's holding a fruit basket. It looked like it was a gift for somebody. He motions her to move. Now, there were other areas to sit, but he motions her to move, and she does. And then I'm thinking he's going to tell the woman to get on. He gets on and lets her get on last. So now I'm looking at this, and I'm starting to get a little annoyed. Like, who does he think he is? And this is where I was reminded that Filipino people are very accommodating, and they're kind of tolerant. Not the government people, they're just jerks. But regular, ordinary Filipinos are sometimes tolerant to a fault. And she moved. And I don't say anything. And I'm just sitting there. So, yeah, yeah, just guy. It was an infant baby. And so he needed to go to a specific spot. Sometimes, if you tell the multi-cab driver, like, you have to go some places off the main road, they'll actually do it for you. So he asked to go to the municipal building. At least that's what we thought. So they go up the ramp to the municipal building, and parts of it is blocked off. Now, this is on a Saturday, so it was probably closed off for landscaping or whatever. So then they drive to the back of the bus. I mean, not the back of the bus. They drive to the back of the building, and then the driver stops. And so, because I had headphones on, I'm listening to music. And so the man then says something to the bus driver, and the bus driver, you can see he nods his head, and then he starts driving again. So at this point, I cut off my headphones because I could read the guy's lips and his body language, and he was saying something very condescending. And so when I cut my headphones off, I hear him telling the woman that he's with, yeah, I mean, I told the guy where I had to go, and he just gives me this blank stare. And so that's when I realized you're American. Because I didn't know if he was Australian, United Kingdom. I was hoping for one of those. Like, don't be American. Please don't be American. Don't be American. Be Russian. Be from the Czech Republic. Be anywhere else but America. But no, he was American, probably a Trump lover. I don't know. So the way he was talking, and then he's trying to talk to the people on the bus. Now, oh yeah, she moved. Yeah, she moved. Like I said, they're very accommodating. The people here are very accommodating, almost to a fault. I don't know why that is, but me, I'm nice to everybody. I buy because they have a generic form of M&Ms here that don't even taste like real chocolate. It kind of gives you the hint of chocolate, but doesn't taste like chocolate. So when I go to, the store for grocery shopping, I always buy I get 20 packs of M&Ms for like $2. So I buy those, and then I just give them out to the kids around here. Or if I see kids on the bus, I'll just give them candy. And they're like, this is what chocolate tastes like. So after he starts talking to the people, I just got this nasty vibe. So finally, I just look at him when I hear he has an American accent. I'm like, "Where are you from?" And then he kind of like froze in place, and he's like, the U.S." I'm like, "Where in the U.S. are you from?" Texas. So his mom starts talking to me, and she's very nice. Yeah, I got no issues with mom because that turned out to be his mom. Um, and she's saying we're from a place, Georgetown, and I'm like, never heard of Georgetown, Texas. And she, well, it's near Austin. I'm like, okay, I have a brother that lived in Austin. I know where you're from. So I'm like, I'm from Philadelphia. He's like, you're from Philadelphia, huh? And I'm like staring at this guy, and I just want to punch him in the mouth. His mom tells me that that day, like they were on their way to his wedding. And I'm like, who on earth would marry you? Like, you're a jerk. You're just a jerk. And then I looked at the mom again, and then I looked at him, and then when I said to him, really froze him in place because I was like, "You live here?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Now the subdivision is San Jose, and San Jose is actually a sizable subdivision. It has two parts. You have the original part, which started, I think, in 1990 something, and then you have the newer part, which is phase two, which is the part I live in. And so I was like, I live in San Jose too. He's like, you live in phase? Yeah, I live in phase two. Now, normally I would ask the guy, like, hey, let's exchange contact information if we're neighbors, Americans or whatever. No, not him. Did not like the guy. Thought he was a jerk. So as his mom's explaining that he's getting married, I realized I saw them a couple of weeks earlier at the Indigenous Pride Festival. And so pointed it out because his mom had hair. It was blonde, but it looked like hay. And so you're a white woman with blonde hair in an indigenous society. You're going to stand out. And I remember seeing him with his wife and her family and his mother. I didn't know it was his mother. And so I mentioned to them, yeah, I know you. I've seen you before. And then I pointed it out. So once this happened, he started getting quiet, but the mother kept talking. So she's saying that they were getting, her son was getting married. And I asked her if she was living in the Philippines as well. And she said no. And then she said something that really just kind of fried my brain. So they're going to the jerk and his bride to be for their honeymoon. They're going to Palawan, which is in the northern Philippines. It's actually a separate island, and it's known for its beauty and its beaches. And they have monkeys on this island, like not huge primate monkeys, but the little cute ones that annoy people. So she says that, they're going to Palawan for, their honeymoon. And then she mentions that she's going with them. I'm like, you're going with your son and his bride on their honeymoon. What am I missing here? And I started putting things together, and I'm just making guesses here. But I'm like, okay, he's a mama's boy, and he probably gets his money from her. And I can't imagine what that's going to be like when she goes home and he doesn't get his way. Like it just the condescension in which he was talking to these people, because he talked to me with the utmost respect, and he didn't want to make a lot of eye contact with me. Like, because of my condition, I can't give a poker face anymore. If I don't like you, you probably say it in my face. If I'm angry, you're probably going to say it in my face. Like, that's just my disability now. And so I'm thinking, I hope I never see you again. Like, so mind you, my wife, she's looking, but trying not to look. And then, you know how the wives always, grab the husband's hand, like, all right, just come. Because she knew I was getting angry. Now, I never raised my voice, but she could feel that I did not like this guy. So they get off. And when they get off, everybody on the bus on the multicab, started laughing. And I didn't know what they were laughing at. Like, what's going on? Like, but they were laughing at him because here's a misnomer that people don't realize, and they have reason to believe it, and at the same time, they should understand why it doesn't happen. English is the second or the third. No, English technically is the second mandatory language in the Philippines. You have Tagalog, and then you're supposed to have English. Now, depending on what region you're in, you might speak a different language. In the middle region, they also speak, in addition to Tagalog and English, Visayan and Cebuano. Then you have your subculture, like the indigenous people. They all have a distinct language. Like there's at least 100 languages in the Philippines. But if you're going to school and you're in a good school, you're supposed to learn English. But everybody doesn't know English here. So it's wrong to assume that you're talking to somebody that knows what you're saying, even if it's English. Like the best way to compare it is I studied Spanish for 2 years when I was in college, and I got B's in Spanish. If somebody came up to me right now and started speaking Spanish, I'd have no idea what they were saying. And that's probably how it is for a lot of the people here. They learned it, but if you don't practice it, you're going to forget it, just like math. So I never assume people understand English. And the other thing about it is Filipino English, like English is not necessarily universal. Like well, English that's spoken in America is different from English that's spoken in Scotland. It's different from English that's spoken in Australia. There's nuances to it. Filipino English is kind of like, I don't know, an alphabet soup of different dialects of English. And I guess it depends on what English speaker Europeans or Americans or Westerners were around you when you were growing up. Like they still call cookies biscuits. That's not a biscuit, that's a cookie. If you can't put gravy on it, it's not a biscuit. But in England, cookies are biscuits. So that was my first rant. My second rant is about another American. Who would have guessed that? So let me give you a little backstory on this one. Guy meets woman in December, moves here in late January. A month after he's here, he feels like he cannot be faithful. And I don't know, it bothers me. And the reason it bothers me was because he tried to use the Bible to justify his inability to remain faithful. And I'm a God-fearing man. Like, you don't play around with the Bible. You just don't. And the thing that I didn't understand, because I usually ask other foreigners that I talk to, what brings you here, like what made you decide to move to the Philippines. And a lot of times, I'm talking to older foreigners, and I'm retired. I wanted to stretch my money, and this is a nice place, and I wanted to get married, and those things, no problem. I say to him, what makes you move to the Philippines? He points at his girlfriend, like she's the reason. So she's the reason, and you're here for like 6 weeks, and you see other Filipino women, and now you're like, oh, I want this one and I want that one. I'm thinking, you've got to be the most impulsive person I've ever met. First of all, me personally, I would never, ever uproot my entire life and move clean across the world for a woman. Not gonna happen. I wouldn't uproot my life and move across the state for a woman. Like, no, like that's it can't be a good reason. They don't even know each other that long. And the other part, not that it matters, she's an ugly. She's an attractive woman. She's not as pretty as my wife. Let me just make sure I put that out there. But she's not ugly. And I'm looking at this guy, and then he's telling me, like, he wanted me to understand. Like, I understood what he was saying, but he wanted me to agree with it. And that was where I drew the line. Like, I don't agree with what you're doing. Like, I absolutely do not agree with what you're doing. You know, I'm sure his girlfriend was looking for a lifetime partner because most Filipinas are looking for that lifetime partner. One of the allures of Filipino women is that you're going to get a woman that wants to be married to a good man. Now you got your few exceptions in there, like my neighbor up the road. I don't know what he did. I mean, he's a good guy. Don't get me wrong, but his wife, ooh, whoa. So I'm listening to him talk, and I'm telling him, listen, you don't commit to a relationship unless you're sure. And then he starts talking about, well, King David had concubines and King Solomon's. Like, okay, first of all, you're not King David. You're not King Solomon. You are extremely arrogant to compare yourself to either one of those people. You're not them. Okay? And understand something. They paid the price for having concubines and multiple wives. You don't. So anyway, as I'm listening to him, he's comparing it to ice cream, where he's saying, he wanted ice cream and he thought they only had vanilla, but when he got here, he found out they had chocolate too. So now he wants chocolate, so he wants to get rid of the vanilla ice cream. And so I had to remind this guy of a couple of things. A, you're in another country. B, you're in a place where you know absolutely nobody except your girlfriend and her family. 3, you don't know who she knows. Because I had to tell the guy, like, look, you want to clown around and cheat on her where you live, it will get back to her. Because another thing about Filipinos is that they love to gossip. They call it marites. So, like, you're not being smart at all. If you disappeared, nobody would know what happened. And nobody would be able to prove anything. So I had to remind him of that guy, was it Eric Eastman or something? The guy that was in the western part of Mindanao, and he was bragging on his live streams about how much money he had, and he was like giving out loans to people and bragging about how much things cost. Yeah, he disappeared one night. They think he was killed and his body was dumped in the sea, but we don't know. He just disappeared one night. And it's like, you still have to be careful, okay? Don't come here with this ideology that because you have a steady basis of income. And I don't even know if this guy has a steady basis of income. I don't even know that. Because he keeps talking about his mom. Like, what am I wrong here? Like, I don't know. I've done everything on my own since I was 15. I'm not used to, I'll call my mommy and she'll give me some money. Just like the dude that was getting married. Mom, can you pay for my honeymoon? And if you want, you can come too. Where is your? Okay, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna let that one go. And so this was the one that actually got me upset. Yeah, Wind Whispers, Violet Witch, Donnie B, Adam Harris, Harry's mom, Kamala Peace, I want to say a special hello, if she's available to hear me, to MobTube Chronicles, who is currently in the island of Jamaica. So, MobTube Chronicles, if by chance you happen to be on the beach in a nice fitting swimsuit and somebody happens to take a picture, you know how to reach me. You can just send that, just saying, no pressure, just if you're up to it. So here's another one. So like I said, my wife is from a really small town. I call it a village, but technically it's a city. And it's a mountainous region. It's an indigenous region. Like, I was the first Black American, probably the first Black person ever to set foot in her village, which for like 5 minutes made me feel like a rock star. But then all of a sudden, as people just continue to stare at you, you start to feel a little uncomfortable. That was my first visit. I've gone several times since then, and it's been fine. But yeah, that first one was like, whoa, this is weird. So there's a family, and a dysfunctional family, to put it mildly. She tells me that the father has impregnated the daughter, and the mother was trying to alert people because she knew something was going on between the two of them. But now she's really, really sick, like she's bedridden now, and now the girl's pregnant, and everybody is like 100% sure that it's the father that's the father. How does that work? So if a kid is born and his dad's also his grandfather, is he also his own uncle? Uh, And your mom's your sister. Like, if there are any like fundamental Latter Day Saints out there, maybe you could help me understand that. I don't know. Mm. No, no, I'm not. No, no, there's no fighting. Okay, we can just make a copy, and we send it. That's why we have JPEGs now. Now, if it was a print, yeah, I might have to fly back over there and get that picture. But no, I'm just saying, if the 21st century Diane Carroll happens to take a swimsuit picture, I'd like to see it. That's all. Back to what I was saying. So the story, as Florian's telling me this, it was a depressing story. Now, this was something in my career in family court as a family court officer. I was a child advocate and a social worker, and I did a lot of different things in the family court system. But this is not an unfamiliar story to me, but it still, saddens you when you hear it, because that child's life is ruined. Like, there's no way around it. But as Florian's telling me this, she's saying how the neighbors think that. See, I'm not love stricken. I'm just crushing. There's a difference. So I just want the picture to admire the beauty that is MobTube Chronicles. I'm not going to, have to make, trips to the bathroom and be disappearing for like, 15, 20 minutes. No, I'm too old for that. So, all right, tell her to take two pictures. Because if she gives me one, and my nephew has it, and then I just can't imagine what he might be thinking about when he sees the picture. So let him get his own picture, and I'll have mine. Because, yeah. Anyway, Florian's outside doing her gardening work. That's what's keeping the dogs quiet. So, I put the link in, Teresa, so you could rant too. I didn't want to just hog up all the ranting, but I put the link in. Anyway, she says that the people that are talking about this, that are doing absolutely nothing about it, mind you, they think like, well, the daughter must have liked it, and that set me off. Like, lost temper, all of that. And I'm not one of those big victim shaming type people where I'm always calling somebody out for victim shaming or victim blaming, but this time it actually applied. And like he groomed her. Okay. That's her father. Even, even, even if she approached her dad, he should have rebuked it. He should have chastised her. He should have left the house. The responsibility is on him, not the child. Okay. Like I just can't go for that. I mean, honestly, it was not what prearranged marriages. It's not like they have arranged marriages here, but it's not in the way you think. It's not like in India where two families get together and just say, hey, our families, your son's going to marry our daughter. It's not something that's ordained at birth. Here, it's more like, okay, we got too many kids in here, and this guy wants to marry our daughter, or they kind of fooled around and she got pregnant, and they're like, well, you got to get married now. They still have shotgun weddings. Like the Philippines is the only country in the world where divorce is still illegal. Like divorce is not legal in the Philippines. And even though there's a huge population of unwed children running around this country, having a baby out of wedlock is still frowned upon. I have a friend in a different part of the Philippines that she told me, like point blank, she did not love her husband. She said the guy that she was in love with, they were together for 5 years and then they broke up. And she was just dating her husband before he became her husband and got pregnant. That's why she got married. Like she does not love him. Well, let me put it this way: she's not in love with him, and she actually said the reason she hasn't moved away is because he apparently is a good father to their son. But yeah, she got married because the parents were like, "Well, you can't have a baby out of wedlock. How could you do this?" And blah blah blah. Now she's got a sister who's got 4 kids, and when her sister's husband started cheating on her, she left him. She didn't care. Like, I'm out of here. So, it depends. My oldest nephew here. Yeah, I love her too, but I'm sure we don't have the same feelings for her. So that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, nothing wrong with that nephew. It's okay. I'm cool. You know, like I said, she can take 2 pictures. You get one, I get one. I won't know what yours looks like. You won't know what mine looks like. And we'll just have 2 pictures. And it's okay. And we're good. See? So, but back to what I was saying. Um, my concern is that because what she said, like one of the things that they actually progressed into, and something else about the Philippines. I know I'm rambling right now, but polio was still an issue here. Polio, like polio. How is polio still an issue? Polio. Like, what? Polio? But it's still an issue here. Just had to get it off my chest. We actually ran into a vlogger who's in a wheelchair, like FDR style wheelchair, because he had polio. He's like 30. Okay, got that off my chest. So they don't allow anymore for you to just have give birth inside your house. Like you have to have either the only way you can do it is if you have a professional midwife come to your house and everything's documented and the baby still has to go to the hospital to get checked out, or you just go to the hospital and have your baby. So now they're afraid that, because this girl's never been seen with another boy. And all of a sudden she's pregnant and you're like, who's the father? And she's saying, it's my boyfriend. And you're like, you don't have a boyfriend. You've never even held hands with anybody. So like everybody kind of knows, like, yeah, your dad's been raping you for like an extended period of time. But because like what I was trying to explain to Florian, I think she understands it now, was that when you're groomed, you don't necessarily understand that it's wrong because your groomer is always going to be somebody that you trust, somebody that you look at as an authority figure, somebody that you look at for wisdom, for lack of a better word. It's a father. So he might say something. So imagine this, like a kid, you know, they know you're not supposed to drink before you're 21 years old. But in the house with dad might let you get a sip of beer, and you're like, and he say, "All right, I'm gonna get you a sip of beer, but don't tell anybody." That's kind of what it's like. Like objectively it's wrong, but because it's your father, you think, well, if he's giving me permission, it's okay. The other thing is your body does not know that this is wrong, so you might get some type of sensation from it. Your body doesn't know. And look, I was sexually abused as a kid by my sister. I didn't ask for that. I didn't want it. It wrecked me when I actually went out and looked for relationships because I kept being attracted to narcissists. And so, like, all but like two of my relationships before I came here were with narcissists. That's why I'm saying she's scarred, because she's going to be carrying a baby. And people are going to look at her like, what, she enticed him? Like, no, no, that did not happen. And how can you be attracted to your own kid? Like, that's beyond sick. Like, this look, pedophiles and incestuous pedophiles. I could forgive a murderer faster than I could forgive a pedophile. Now, that's just my opinion. Other people may disagree, but I don't know. Taking a life and destroying a person's brain are usually two different things. And I'm speaking figuratively here, you know, and yeah, it's a sad world we live in. You know, I don't. Well, no, when I worked as a job developer, I had a kid, and I'll put it this way because I'm not gonna put anybody on blast, but his mother had him when she was like 14, and she named him after a Adam Sandler movie, and I'll just leave it at that. He found out that his father was also his grandfather, which kind of explained a lot. But at the same time, it's like I can't imagine what that would be like. Like the emotional tsunami that would incur from that discovery, that realization. Ted Bundy flipped out and he snapped when he realized that the person he thought was his dad was actually his grandfather, because his mother was an unwed mother. And when she gave birth to him, she put him up for adoption. Now, his dad, I mean, his grandfather, he wasn't a pedophile. And they told her, "You go back and get that baby." She went back and got the baby. And he said, because his mother was so young, "We're going to raise this as our child and you'll be his sister." Like, Ted Bundy found that out and flipped out. Like, he found out, his life was a lie. But at the same time, it wasn't like he found out his grandfather was his dad. He found out the person he thought was his dad was just actually his grandfather, because they raised him like he was their son. But there was no, but that's a whole different scene anyway. But it's really just nothing I've ever seen before. But now, Florian tells me 2 weeks ago that there's another situation where the father's having sex with the daughter. Now, she's not pregnant, but he's so controlling, he won't let her go anywhere alone. So he drives her to school, watches her go in, and then as soon as she comes out, he brings her home. Yeah, Jack Nicholson did have that situation. He thought his mother was his sister. There was another singer, Bobby Darin, the guy that sang "Splish Splash." I was taking a bath on a Saturday night or something. He thought his mother was his sister because he was born out of wedlock, and to keep up appearances, you know, her parents pretended that it was their child. Matter of fact, Charles Manson's kid was raised by the mother's parents, and they told him that they were his parents because they didn't want him to know his actual dad was Charles Manson. Which, in those situations, yeah, I kind of understand that. You know, I can't have a problem with that. But it was ugh, that was just something that yeah, that was kind of crazy for me. I still don't even have the words for you know that issue. It just keeps like I don't know. When I was in a family court, one of my clients, she's 14 or 15, and her family were refugees from Africa. I forget which country. I want to say Sierra Leone, but I could be wrong. Anyway, the father, no, I'm sorry, she went to live. Oh wait, hold on. Do these children come out normal, or do the sins of the sins of the father show through? It all depends. Not every kid that's a product of incest is going to look like they have like three eyes or one ear or have intellectual disabilities. It's a high probability that it could happen, but it doesn't always happen. Like the kid I said was named after an Adam Sandler movie. He was normal. Well, as normal as you could be, finding out that your dad is your grandfather. So, but this other client, they were from I know it was Africa for a fact. She came over and she was staying with her brother. He was an older brother. He was like 20 years older than her, somewhere around those lines. And I think it was her brother. There was a grandmother there, and then there was her cousin that was there. It was like her brother's nephew, so it made it her cousin. Now the cousin was an adult. He was like 20 or so. Well, he's raping her on a regular basis. She gets pregnant. When they find out, now the grandmother knew. Like she would be in the house while this was taking place. She did nothing. When the brother, who's the guardian, finds out, he sends the nephew back to Africa, then blames the girl who was like 13 at the time she got pregnant. So I forgot how the system got a hold of this case, but when it was given to me, I was just like, what? Because this was the first time I had a case like this. I had been around other colleagues that had these cases, but this is like my first like incest rape case. So I meet now the brother, he was married and he had, his wife was nice. And they were kind of, they were raising the child so she could finish school. Like she was in high school, like high school freshman, sophomore, around that category. We had a meeting because I never met the brother. He was at work or whatever. I don't know, taxi driver or whatever it is. So we had a meeting at the Department of Human Services. It was like a complete family planning meeting. And this was the first time he showed up. And he's getting angry while we're talking about, what we're doing because he wanted to take the baby from her and she wanted her baby. So my thing, I was an advocate for the client, which was the juvenile. So if what you want is within reason, then yeah, I'm like Kevin Costner. I'm the bodyguard now because I'm going to do whatever I can for you. He starts getting angry and he starts talking in African, and I could see my client start to cower as he's talking. And the wife, like their culture, the wife is always supposed to be submissive to the husband. I don't agree with that. if Florian was submissive to me, she'd have to go. I don't know. No. You speak your mind. I want to hear what you're thinking. So anyway, I take the guy outside, and how long ago was that? All right, the statute of limitations has expired. I threatened bodily harm if he didn't get his act together, because I don't know which one is more evil, the woman, I have to say, because we have a built-in nurturing protective instinct. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to disagree with that. Like I said, when I found out that the grandmother knew it was going on and allowed it, like, I'm not going to say allowed it, but didn't do anything to stop it. She didn't like tell the son. Well, she didn't tell the brother, like, this is what's going on. Like, it could have been prevented. It really could have. But I explained to the guy, if you talk to her like that again, I'm going to punch you right in the throat. Then I'm going to snap your neck. Okay. So understand this. I don't care what you do back in your country. If your country was so great, you would not be here. And you're here now. So we have laws and we have rules to protect children. And she is under my protectorate. And if you have a problem with that, I really, really, really hope you do, because then I want you to do something. So he left. He didn't go back in the meeting. I don't know why. It wasn't like I wanted. I didn't want him there. I never said that. I just explained to him, like, okay, there's going to be consequences for your actions. And, I mean, I was nice about it. I didn't raise my voice. Nobody heard me say what I said to him, and I spoke very slowly in case he struggled, understanding English, and he left. And so my recommendation was that we remove her from that household, because his wife, no matter how nice she was not going to be able to stop whatever he was doing. Like, she couldn't control his behavior. And the little baby was actually a cute, very cute baby, by the way. Baby was adorable. So that's my rant. Oh, Teresa, wait, I'm pulling up the link again. I know there's something you need to rant about. So I'm pulling it up, and there it is. And hold on for a second. I'm going to play this real quick. Teresa's, I think this is some of your friends. They put on a talent show, so I'm going to put this on so you can check this out real quick, and then I'll get back, because I have this crazy video about a dysfunctional family. And when I say it was a crazy video, it's a crazy video. But check this out.
Jackhead to crackhead, you still haven't changed. You're still messing with the stuff that eats up your brain. You used to worry about your looks when you looked alright, but what you should have been worried about is your life. Jackhead to crackhead, you really look a mess with your free bass and buff stinking mule train breath. Now, did you ever wake up, your face stuck to the pillow? Did your mama ever call you an ugly gorilla? You're a crackhead. Tell them again, EJ. Crackhead. Leave it alone. For jackhead to crackhead, you know that you're wrong, cause I can smell your body odor over the telephone. Now with your peanut head, you never be the best until you get your butt together, then you pass the test. For a nickel and a dime, you commit a crime, but when the judge throws the book, can you stand the time? Push a man on the corner there selling death. You better stop your way of living and help yourself. Destroying all the youth each and every day. You ought to toss your butt in jail and throw the key away. You're a crackhead. No lie. Tell them again, EJ, what are they? Crackhead. Leave it alone.
Yeah, I think I will leave that alone. Good grief. Man, the 80s. Ugh. That was not one of those things that aged well. More like milk. Let's see, how much restraint did it take? I know the whole truth on this, but how did it affect your choices further down in your career? It really didn't. You know, I took the tragedies that I went through in life in my childhood and used that to kind of help steer other children away from that direction and help them get off of that road. He there was some there were a couple of times I actually thought like, why am I doing this? But to be totally honest, helping other children and helping other families distracted me from my own trauma that I didn't face or address earlier in my life. And that's why my condition got as bad as it did, because I blocked out 40 years worth of trauma and then it just beat the crap out of me one day starting in 2018. And yeah, it was crazy. So I want to pull up a video here. Let me give you the backstory on this. So it's Christmas 2024, and the police are called to a house where the family are physically fighting each other. So now I'll put it in the link in the description. This is from the YouTube channel Body Cam Leak. And it's basically just showing, like, you know, police using their body cams and they're showing the different incidents that the police are dealing with. And this one happened to be on Christmas Eve where the family's fighting. There's in the house, there's two sisters and a mother, and one sister's screaming. Well, they're all screaming. I'm not going to lie. But to make a long story short, they were fighting over where the nephew / grandson should live. Now, mind you, it was the sister who's the mother of this child is not even in the house. It's just the nephew. And I think what took place is that the grandmother removed the nephew from the sister's care because start again. Grandma removed grandson from her daughter because mom of grandson was physically abusing him. She removed him from the house. Other sister, I guess the oldest sister or whoever, you'll know who I'm talking about when I start the video. She thinks that the child should be moved back into the house. So that's just a story, and you'll see what the cops are walking into as soon as they open the door.
Absolutely. Positivity.
Hello.
I don't want to raise nobody else's kids.
What's going on, Tamiko?
Hey, y'all the same people?
Yeah.
You're arguing about the same shit.
I
Get me out of
figured.
here.
I figured.
Get me out of here.
All right.
You arrest her, please. Arrest her. No, that is my whole house.
Okay.
She
Okay.
needs to go.
Wilson, yelling's not gonna.
She tore my whole house.
Okay,
She needs to go. This is
Listen,
the same person. She put it in my mouth.
Listen, okay,
That was
listen.
too much. She just
I know, but
How on earth can you establish what's going on with all of that chaos? See, these body cam videos have given me a new respect for the police, where I didn't have one before. But I really have one now.
yell. Please don't yell. Here, let's go talk to
No,
mom.
because y'all let her hit me. Y'all didn't do nothing. She needs to go now.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so right there, the cops telling them, I have no idea what you're talking about. If somebody says to me, I have no idea what you're talking about, little light goes on in my head. Start from the beginning. That's just me.
She needs to be arrested. Do you see what she did to my house? I'm the same girl.
I wasn't out. Whatever call you're talking about.
They just left a call, sir. Can you?
Okay. Well, yeah. See, I don't know.
She just
I am not the same man. I did not deal with you today. So stop.
Why does he have to yell? I think that's a two-way street. Walks in the middle of chaos and you're screaming and hollering at the top of your lungs. One's telling one story, another one's telling another story. And it's interesting how they're screaming at him, but the minute he raises his voice, they're like, hey, what's going on?
I told her she keeps yelling.
Okay, well,
She's not listening. She's not listening.
I'm trying to talk to you. You don't have to
Thank you.
yell.
I appreciate. Well,
the house to people. So the house got trashed by one of the daughters, just so you know.
She's not listening.
Okay, but that's not. Listen, sir. I know that they trained you in how to calm people down. That's not how you do it.
Given that you and your two daughters are hysterical, please explain to us the training required in learning how to calm people down.
She's not listening.
She just came
After
in
I
here
repeatedly
and
told
hit
her to
me
stop.
and hit
Okay.
my daughter and
Thank
tore up
you.
my house.
Okay. See that's
What else do I need to say? You can see it.
okay. Give me a sec. I'm trying to
Okay,
get it
that's
out
fine.
with everyone, dear. That we try to calm down the situation, but when no one's
I'm in
when
danger.
no one's
Did
listening,
you just see me barricaded in my room, sir?
I mean,
How
I see
would
the
you
door
feel?
shut.
I got barricaded
What
against the
happened?
door because she hit me.
Okay,
and
I
threw a light
don't
at
know
me.
what happened. I wasn't here. And I'm
Okay,
trying
well,
Okay, so just so you guys know, that cop's been to this house before. And that's why she's talking to him like with a familiarity. He's been there before. Just this is his first time going there that day.
tell me what happened, sir.
Okay.
I would like to press charges
I
on her.
appreciate that.
Okay.
What happened today?
Everything was cool. I'm trying to take my sister around to drop off gifts. She put her fingers in my face because I'm giving my opinion about the boy. I think he should go back with his mom. I don't think he should be away for 6, 7, 8 months. No, I don't
Now, she reminds me of 5 clients rolled into one, no pun intended.
think that. They get upset because they want to take him and raise him. They got them an Xbox. That's cool. But when I'm driving, you're not going to be doing this to my face. I'm sorry. But you're not going to be doing that to my face.
Right.
So I left the scene and the mom had to come. She texted me saying, come get your shit. You're not allowed back in my house because she want to listen to her daughter. At the end of the day, you got child engagement charges. You didn't raise your own kids. Why are you trying to take the boy away from his mom? Yes, I understand that she need to listen to calm down the whoopings.
If she's saying the sister needs to calm down the whoopings, that most likely means the child's being abused.
But at the end of the day, he should still go back with his mom.
Stop yelling.
No, I just got here from Cincinnati, and they just got me off. I'm a first generation college student. I'm a first generation college student.
Who the hell cares?
I didn't want to come back home to all this. This is
I
too
don't
much.
blame you.
So then what did you go back for? Nobody forced you to go back.
I
The
just
story.
told you what happened.
Okay, you told me that she hit you and busted up your house. So what occurred? Like, what occurred? I need a little bit of an
She left with
elaboration.
my daughter. They went over there. The next thing I know, I got a phone call from the Akron police. She hit her in the car over there. I called a lift over there to go get my daughter in my car and brought them back home. And she just came back in. I thought she was going to get her stuff. She proceeded to yell and start throwing shit. She punched me in my face and broke my stove.
Okay.
I'm not lying.
Did I say you're lying, dear?
Go get Cartier, Charnay. Go get Cartier, Charnay. That's what you do.
Cartier, Charnay, Oil of Olay, Creme Brulee, what else? Chardonnay, Chevrolet. What's with these names?
Yes, dear.
And Charnay got scratches on her face, too.
What happened here?
What is she saying? What? She's a first generation college student. Now I had to watch this like 8 times, so yeah, I get it. I had to slow it down and everything. She's a first generation college student. Now, what she also alluded to was that her and her siblings grew up in the system. And looking at the big one, she's got a lot of trauma going on. Like, I believe that I'll get to that later, but I believe her weight is symptomatic of childhood trauma. But yeah, I think they all grew up in the system, and this is what she's claiming.
Do something at me.
Okay.
That ain't my own family. Then you get mad because I don't want to take custody of the boy. No, I think you should go back with his mom. Whoopings are normal. Do you see this bite mark on my arm? She been whooping my ass all my life.
I believe that. But I believe the mom probably was short-tempered raising these kids and probably a single parent. And everything I'm saying is my opinion. But I believe that. I believe, you know, mom probably got carried away with the abuse. Now, this is my opinion. This girl right here has become a narcissist. I don't know if she's a full blown narcissist, but she's definitely displaying narcissistic traits because her claim is that they took the grandson from the sister, the other sister that's not here at this house, and they expect her, this big girl right here, they expect her to now raise the nephew. That this is what she's claiming.
So don't be act like a hypocrite when it comes to your daughter.
Okay.
Huh?
What?
Can you get my nephew, please? We need him.
No, he's fine. He should go back home.
He needs
He should go back home.
He can be right here for right
He
now.
asked for him, not my mom.
Oh, the
He
officer?
just- Yes, he just
Okay.
asked for him.
Does she have any marks on him at all? Or on her?
Sharnae has marks on her
No,
face. No, I never hit her. I came in my room.
Shit, I only been back here for a week and y'all already started a whole bunch of bullshit.
Hudson.
If you didn't have the faith to
kid?
do it
Hey,
what's
hey,
going on
hey.
at home,
Stop
then
yelling.
go have a faith now.
Do you want the
I'm getting out. My book bag right
Right.
there.
So they say it later, but here's what happened on Christmas Day. She comes home, I guess on break from school or whatever. I don't know. They were taking Christmas gifts to other relatives with her. So this big one and the one with the pink hair, the big one right here was driving. The girl with the pink hair can't drive. They get in an argument on the way to another relative's house. As they get in the argument, the big girl beats up the pink-haired girl, Pinky. I'll call her Pinky just for clarity's sake. Beats up Pinky and then just leaves. So now they were driving mom's car. So Pinky called the police. She was so out of control that the cops were like, I'm not dealing with this. So she called the mom. The mom had to take ride share, I think it was Lyft, to go where the daughter was and get the car and bring them back. At which point they tell Big Girl, you got to go. And then Big Girl took a Lyft back to their apartment and then the fight ensued. This is not a race thing because you find the same craziness in all white trailer parks. Well, no, this has nothing to do with race. I mean, the only thing that I would like racially profile are the names that they gave with the Cartier and the Chardonnay and the creme brulee. But outside of that, no, this is just stuff. But this is going on in Akron, Ohio, which there's a lot of crazy police videos on Akron, Ohio. I had no idea. Like, I don't know, they went crazy after LeBron James went off to, the NBA or something.
Tamika, put your hands behind your back, dear.
I'm not Tamika.
All right, well, put your hands behind your back. Sorry, I didn't say your name correctly.
Why?
He didn't say your name correctly because he said the wrong name.
That's fine.
I'm gonna put 2 pairs of cuffs on you.
I got a master's degree. I don't have to.
Okay, you might not have heard that, but he's telling her you got to put 2 pairs of handcuffs on you, and she's telling him she's got a master's degree.
I don't like it.
2 is just more comfortable.
No.
That's all. Just because it's more comfortable.
I mean, if you want to be uncomfortable, okay, I'm trying to
I want
help
to
you
get my
out.
book bag and go.
Okay, well, you're under arrest. You're going to jail
Why?
for domestic.
I didn't hit nobody.
Well, she has swelling below her eye.
Who?
Huh? Your mom.
Who? I didn't hit nobody.
Okay. Ashcraft, take her outside so I can handle all this in here.
Now, who's this guy? I mean, he's just sitting there watching, looks like a commercial or something on TV, or he was trying to get the PlayStation activated. But he's just totally a non-factor in everything. I don't know if he's a son, a boyfriend, or what, but he was being the smart one in this whole situation. He's like, I am not getting involved. I am not getting involved.
Please. Okay. So I got a couple of things I need you to do. Okay. So I'm gonna bring up a statement form from you. Okay. I see the injury to your eye. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some minor swelling right now, so maybe just put an ice pack on it. Okay. And I did see a little bit of swelling when I shone the light on it, and the picture shows it on the picture I took. Okay.
Okay. I like the name Denver, and I wouldn't be opposed if Florian wanted to name our daughter London. I like those names. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Okay. Who's this now?
That's my baby girl.
Okay,
That's my
okay,
daughter.
that's your baby
This is
girl.
all my daughters.
And she has scratched. Where did that
That occurred. They left to go drop off some Christmas presents, right?
Yeah.
Ajane was driving. Next thing I know, I get a call from an officer. Ajane jumped on her, I guess, in the car and jumped out the car and caught an Uber somewhere. Left Charnay in the car. Charnay don't know how to drive, so I catch a lift over to my car, get my car, and bring Charnay and them back home. And here she come back in the door. I'm like, it's Christmas. Hopefully we can get things together. No, she flipped out. She completely flipped out.
Okay.
I didn't put my hands on nobody. I don't know what the they talk about. They just sitting here throwing glass and shit at me.
You put your hands on that food.
You see all that glass? How about I'm under arrest? You see all that glass? What are you talking about? Why I'm under arrest? Can you please explain my rights?
Yeah.
Please, I want to know every single right in this.
We'll explain.
Yeah, because they want to take people's kids. You've been beating kids your whole life. All type of child endangerment charges. I want to take somebody's kids and get mad because I don't want to take them. You don't have a confidence to take your own grandson? You. Shit, I just got done working for a police department. I ain't worried about no police like you are. You're the one with the misdemeanors. You're the one with
That's a large canvas. So she's bragging that she worked at a police department. My guess would be, and I'm not 100% sure on this, she probably did an internship, which makes me think she got her degree in some type of criminal justice or something. And that's just my guess.
charges. Why am I getting
Make sure
arrested?
that we're gonna get that figured out. Let me talk to my partner, okay?
Because I shouldn't get, this is your second time seeing me, right?
I know.
Was I acting the fool the first time?
No, you
exactly.
weren't. That's why I want to talk
I'm being
with.
friend.
That's
by
why.
somebody that already got criminal charges.
Listen. That's why.
She's being framed. That's one big frame.
I want to talk with my partner first to get the full story, okay?
Thank you.
You can look at my resume. I just got done working for the Cincinnati police. I ain't worried about no damn police.
Why is she what does her resume have to do with anything? See, this is why I'm saying she's being narcissistic, because she's trying to bash over everybody's head that she went to college and that she has a degree. It has nothing to do with this situation. They weren't arguing about her college degree. They weren't arguing about her schooling. They were arguing about what's in the best interest of a little boy.
Like she is.
So why would she have swelling above her eye, though?
I don't know. She was throwing glass. They was throwing glass.
So now the daughter with the pink hair that was hit the first time, she's now calm and she's going to explain to the police what nobody could understand when they first arrived. And it makes sense.
She's upset because
Hey,
she
Mandy.
feels like we waited till she came home from school to do this. Like, no. She doesn't even have a place or anything. She's upset because she doesn't want to raise him, but you don't even have a house or nothing. What is you upset for? Like, you don't got to take him to school every morning. You don't got to get him to a doctor's appointment. You don't got to do none of that. Why are you even saying that? She was in school. She went to grad school, and we gave her all the grace in the world because we all been through stuff. And you going to school, you did your thing, you got your master's degree, we're proud of you. But when you came home, you felt like we did this because he is his safety. It's not about us no more. And like I said, she don't do nothing. Like
Now, the daughter, the pink hair, Pinky, that was very intelligent what she said. So she has common sense when she's not hysterical. And I'll say that. But she even alluded to the fact that, they probably had a rough childhood. But the daughter, her name's Charnay. I think it's Charnay or Chardonnay or Cabrion Sauvignon Blanc or something. Anyway, basically what she's saying is, like, the big girl is trying to make it seem like they need her. Like, that's when I say she's narcissistic. They took the nephew out of the house because the mom was going a little too far with the corporal punishment. she wants to make it about her. The big girl wants to make it about her by saying, "Oh, you did this, and now you're going to want me to take care of her." No, it just happened to be a coincidence that you came home at the same time we took Cartier from his mom. But you say you don't have a place to live, you don't have a car, and she doesn't have a job right now, from what I can guess. So it's kind of like, why are you making this about you when it was about him? But also, her hostility, I think, in my opinion, she's jealous of the fact that her mom, is looking out for her grandson, and she probably feels like you didn't take care of me like that. Like I get this strong sense of jealousy from the big girl. And you know what they say, you got to watch out for the big girl.
She got a car, a house, or nothing. It's not like my mom can't do it and get the emergency custody and get him. She went to my sister's house, taking his clothes, taking pictures of his room, all types of stuff. And I told her, why would you do that? Why didn't you just leave? Mommy left, everybody left. Why wouldn't you just leave? She had to leave her own apartment and call the police on you for you to leave, Ajane. You keep doing that.
Why I'm going to the county? I don't understand why I'm going to the
Oh, okay. So this girl's name is Ajare. So you have Ajare, Charnay, Cartier. Wait, did I miss anything? Oh, I already covered Gina Tay and Oilevole and Chef Boyardee. Okay, so we're good.
county.
Just go on the cruiser for me.
So now I'm being set up because you just see me here, right? And she has no problem.
Your rights.
I don't know why.
We're gonna get your side of the story, all right?
No, 'cause that's not fair.
She's.
Cause she just see me here, so I don't know why I'm getting arrested when they got child endangerment charges and shouldn't be keeping no child in the first place. I don't understand why I'm getting arrested.
Okay, that's it. All right, I can't question you then. You don't.
Why am I getting arrested?
No, she said no. Okay.
I still don't understand why I'm getting arrested. I didn't do nothing but try to get my bag. Y'all see my bag on the table.
Well, I wasn't here for that part.
Exactly. So why is not everybody getting arrested?
They're going to explain it to you.
No, this is not fair.
So the male and female that were there originally, they're going to explain it. What's your name?
No, I don't know my name because I don't understand why I'm getting arrested. I'm a first generation college student. And then you know they being malicious because they say, bye to your degree. What? Y'all not even understanding. Y'all just held them accountable. They somewhere throwing glass. So what happened if I got stabbed with the glass? Since nobody's not understanding the story.
Okay, this is not nice to say, but I think if she got stabbed with the glass, she would not have felt it. Oops.
For any of it,
Yeah, so why am I getting arrested? Can I just get my stuff and go? Because that's what I was doing in the first place.
The other officers will explain everything.
No, that don't make no sense. Now, this is against my rights. Because I don't have a clear understanding why I'm getting arrested. I was trying to get my stuff. I wasn't trespassing. The other officers see me here.
You're a Red Miranda.
What's Red Miranda? I'm a first generation college student. Oh. I don't understand why I was getting arrested. Nobody knows why.
Domestic violence.
How? I didn't do nothing.
That's what he said up there.
That's what he just got here like you just got here. That's cheating. Hey, don't you know that's cheating?
Cheating. Cheating? Wait, you can cheat on your taxes. You can cheat on your spouse. You can cheat on your college exams. How do you cheat on an arrest? And I'm sure she subscribes to the theory that eating's not cheating, but that's just my opinion.
He's going to explain everything.
I did not put my hands on nobody. I did not touch nobody. I just went in there and got my stuff. Did y'all see me put my hands on somebody? Did y'all see me put my hands on somebody? Nobody see me put my hands, so y'all trying to just frame me.
So did you have the scratch marks and stuff when the officers previously showed up, or was this after they left that she assaulted you?
Oh no, when they showed up, they see me like this. And they asked my mom if I took pills. They asked my mom if I was on medication. No, I'm hysterical because she just fucking hit me. And she left me stranded. I don't even know how to drive. My mom.
I can't imagine how out of control, crashed out she was. If they thought he was on drugs. Can you imagine this little skinny pink-haired girl looking like Sailor Moon with a suntan just bouncing all over the place on Christmas Day.
All right. Regarding your incident, let me go call the
And
office.
I told them I
Let me
wanted to press charges on her before she just came and did that. I told them I wanted to press charges on her.
Where are those scratches at? Where are they at?
She hit me twice in my face.
Okay.
They're just
Okay, let me go real quick, call the officers and figure out, because where I'm kind of in a pickle here is it happened over there. So let me figure out what we can do for you, okay?
I understand y'all trying to calm me down, but y'all don't have to put handcuffs on me because this is against my rights.
It's not against your right to put handcuffs on you.
Somebody, you just see me here a day before, and I'm just trying to get my bag and go.
So the police were there on December 23rd. Okay, so my guess is wherever she is, drama follows her.
Akron is a preferred arrest state whenever it comes to domestic violence because...
I never put my hands on somebody.
Listen, because she has swelling above her eye, because she has that injury, you are being seen as the primary aggressor. That is why you're back there, okay?
I did not put my hands on.
You did not give me a full statement.
No, Mandy, let me bring you up to speed. So, Biggins, no, Aja Ray, that's her name. The plus size girl. She came home on Christmas break from college or whatever, according to her. Their family has a history of being in the child services system. So she comes home. They tell her, the mom, her mother and her other sister with the pink hair, tell her that they took the son of her other sister out of the house because she was like physically abusing him, like she was whooping him, on an extreme level. And so Aja Ray, the big one, all of a sudden assumes that they're expecting her to become the guardian of her nephew. And they were trying to explain no, and then they got in a fight. So she gets in a fight with the sister outside the house and leaves the car with the other sister, who was hysterical and screaming. And then she goes back to the house. Her mom told her, you got to go because you're causing trouble. And then she fights the mom and trashes the house. And that's when the police came.
When it came to what happened, and you're still not listening. So I've explained it to you. You now know, okay? Ma'am, I've tried to listen to you.
Why? How?
I have. I've asked you many questions.
And just said, oh, well, she got swelling behind. They are throwing glass at me. I was on the side with glass. If I was trying to put my hands on somebody, well, then why that boy didn't stop? Dang, I just came back a week ago. Why would I get arrested? Like, I'm not about to waste my time on my career for this. I'm a first generation college student. Because I want to get out their house. I got a whole 2 tubs worth of stuff there. I'm trying to get my stuff and go. Right, I just came from Cincinnati. I don't have no beefs or nobody. They trying to take that boy's son away from his mother. I said my piece. They told me to get out. I try to get my stuff. They start throwing glass at me and start jumping on me.
It might have worked better if they threw food at her. That might have calmed her down.
It's glass everywhere. I don't think this is a one-sided conversation. I'm a first generation college student.
I don't care. I lived in New York.
This is like annoying because I don't know. Being the first gen and being around family that just do what they want, I don't understand. But that's probably why we was all graduated.
Being a first gen, so again, she has to throw in there, she was the first one to go to college. Like, who cares?
From the system because of this shit.
Do you understand your rights?
I don't understand why I'm being arrested.
That's not my question.
What is my,
do you understand your
rights? What am I
rights?
getting charged with?
Do you understand your rights? It's a yes or no question.
You can't force me if I don't know what I'm being charged with. I'm a first generation college student.
I'm not forcing you to tell me what happened or anything like that. I'm asking if you understand the rights. And then I'll tell you what you're charged with. You're not admitting anything to me right now. You're telling me you understand what I just read to you on the back.
Okay, I understand right now. I don't think I should.
So you're under arrest for domestic and possibly domestic ×2, and then criminal damaging at this time.
What? I didn't do nothing.
Okay, well, you hit your mom. She does have swelling below her eye. She has swelling below her eye.
They been throwing glass. They've been throwing throwing stuff at
And
me.
then she wants to sign charges on you for criminal damaging for the oven that you broke in the lamp.
I didn't break that. My sister
Well, she
broke
wants to sign
that.
the charges. She wants to sign charges.
No, my sister
She wants
broke
to sign
that.
the charges. And then your sister wants to sign charges on you for DV for the fight that happened on Romig.
I didn't fight her. Did you talk to the officer?
I just did.
And I left.
I just talked.
And what he said? Because he didn't arrest me.
He said if she wants to sign charges, he'll meet her down there, and she wants to sign charges on you.
I didn't do nothing.
So, okay. Is that...
Okay, but do you want to hear my side? Because I didn't do nothing.
Of course.
Well, she asked me to take her around to drop off Christmas gifts. We was talking about the situation with my sister, like that she was here the first time, right? So I told her, I said, hey, I don't feel like we should be taking him for months, but probably a week or two for Christmas break. She started getting mad as I'm driving. She's pointing her finger in my face.
And this is the one with pink hair, correct?
Yes, she's pointing her finger aggressively in my face, screaming at me. And that's when on Roman Road, I pulled over randomly.
Okay, I don't know if you heard this, but she pulled over randomly. I think she is trying to put textbook type terminologies into her statement. It's like, what do they call it, pontificating, when you're trying to present yourself as smarter than what you really are.
And I got out the car. When the other officer came, the car was locked. I never put my hands on her. Just like this. I just got a lift. I haven't been here for more than 10 minutes.
So why would she have a scratch on her forehead that's bleeding?
I don't know. I left. The other officer never arrested me. I don't have nothing. I came here to get my stuff. That's why my stuff was in the book bag. There, she was throwing stuff from the other room. I don't have nothing to do with this. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I'm telling you, your mom has visible injury, so I'm arresting you for domestic. And
because they was throwing stuff. They was throwing stuff.
Okay, well, you can fight that in court, dear. Okay.
Why? But why do I have to be arrested for that?
I just explained it.
I'm a first generation college student. I shouldn't came back here. Oh my God! Like, where's the Lord want for me? I just got done, girl. I just graduated.
Again, what does that have to do with anything that took place today?
What do they want from me? I don't want to take nobody's kid. Is it possible if I could talk to the sergeant? I need to talk to the sergeant because this is unfair. This is the third time the police have been involved, and I haven't been a hostile character since. So, charges on my career that I just got, it's a lot for me, honestly. I can't just go down without a fight.
Have him have you step out. We're gonna go put you in that cruiser over there, okay?
Where am I going?
You're going to jail.
Why?
He already explained it to you.
That's what I'm saying. Like DV, I helped clients with DV before. People don't go straight to jail with DV. I'm a first generation college student.
So what this moron doesn't understand, and I'm sure, is when she dealt with people as an intern, most likely, with domestic violence, they went to the police station to file a complaint. She was at the scene of the crime, so therefore they have probable cause to arrest her. Nobody gets arrested and taken to the police station, quote unquote, unless you're in one of those small podunk towns or whatever. You're going to the detention center. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I have to pull this video back up again. Give me 1 second. I don't know what I did. I did something stupid. So,
Here, I should not be getting charged. Now, people don't go straight to jail with DV. I'm a first generation college student. I never heard of that.
Let's get you in the other car and I'll talk to you about it, okay?
No, y'all can take me somewhere else, but people don't go straight to jail from DV.
They do, actually.
I didn't do it. Y'all don't have no proof that I did it. They've been throwing stuff at me. People are not protecting me.
Listen,
it would take a lot of people to protect her.
we're not going to argue this. The time to argue this charge is in court, okay? You are getting arrested for DV. You've already been arrested for DV, and you are going to jail for DV. It is
I didn't do nothing.
Listen.
I did not do nothing.
It is a family offense, and it is something that in the state of Ohio we are required, if we have the probable cause and all that, to do the
What's
arrest.
the probable cause?
Listen.
What happened to my face? They was throwing glass at me. Why people don't want to ignore that fact? They was throwing glass. My book bag is on the table. I'm trying to go. I was trying to leave. They was throwing glass at me, and I was just here. I should not be getting charged. Can I file charges? Because if everybody's filing charges, I should have the right to file charges too, right?
Your mom has a swollen eye. How did that happen?
They was throwing glass. They was throwing. I just got here. Can you show me, bro? I can show you my list account. I just got here 10 minutes ago.
She threw glass at herself?
They was throwing glass from the other room. We was all arguing. They throwing glass at me. The daughter was throwing glass. They was all throwing. That's how all that glass is everywhere. I promise to God, I didn't do nothing with glass. They was throwing glass at me. Like I told her, I made them do some things back.
Okay, so this is why they say you have the right to remain silent. They read her rights, she waived her rights, and now she admits that she was throwing things also. That contradicts her saying she was just going there to get her stuff and leave. It gives credibility to what everybody in the house was saying. Because what they didn't show, they talked to the little boy too. And they talked to the sister. They might have talked to that silent man that was just sitting around in there watching TV. But now she just told on herself. Yeah, first generation college student, huh?
But I did not put my hands on her.
Okay.
So everybody should be going to jail. It's not just me.
Based on the evidence.
What
Based
evidence?
on all the stuff that's smashed in there. Based on the
They
stories.
did that.
Listen.
They did
based
that.
on all the stories of the people in there.
They did that.
Based on
Did
what
you
the
ask
officer
Cartier?
observed.
Did you ask the child? Because I don't believe that's her boyfriend.
So, Mandy, this is my expert opinion, and I'm not an expert, so it's just my opinion. She's not telling the truth about the role she played in it. Do I think glass was exchanged between Mother Charnay and Ajare? Probably. But who do I think initiated all of this? I'm sure it was this one sitting in the police car right now. Like, I have no doubt about that, just for the simple fact that she beat up the little girl when they first went out and then left because she wanted to get away from it. And yeah, I'll slap you around and I'll leave. And I honestly think, in her defense, I'm talking about the big one right here, she probably grew up with abuse. And she's probably living what she learned from that abuse cycle. No matter how educated you are, and no matter what happens, when you have that, when fear sets in, you automatically, it's just human nature. You're going to go into fight or flight. And she fought the sister when they were driving around and then left. It's like, I got to get out of here. Because she probably started thinking about her career. See, the difference between her and the sister is that the sister calmed down and was rationally able to explain everything. She is still not calming down because she has something to hide, in my opinion.
She's gonna believe him. No, I feel like that's not fair. And like I said, I worked with many clients with DV charges. They don't go straight to jail. I'm a first generation college student.
Step out.
Why am I going to jail?
Out of the car. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you all day. I've already told you this is not the time to argue.
Why?
Step out of the car.
Y'all just here.
Step out. I have listened to you and I have explained to you.
But you haven't protected me.
But listen,
what
we're
am
not
I
going to
doing? But send me in the county for
Get
what? I
out.
didn't do nothing. The other officer just let me go.
What are you doing? See, reality setting in for her right now. And she's finally starting to come to the realization that nobody cares that she's a first generation college student. Nobody cares that you got a master's degree. Nobody cares that you think you're responsible for the whole family. Now, this is what I think as far as she goes. She has adopted this sort of savior complex, and this is why I said her behavior reminds me of a narcissistic type of symptom, because she's still making it seem like she's the good one, everybody else is bad, she was doing them a favor, and she's trying to have people believe that they want her to rescue the nephew from the abusive sister. And nobody said that. They just told her we're taking him, and because she's beating the child. And like I said earlier, I think the mom probably was abusive when they were younger. And I know lots of people that were terrible parents, but they actually became good grandparents. Sometimes you miss. It's not a science in parenting. It's a lot of work. It's a job you never get a break from, and it's probably the most important job anybody will ever have in their life.
Get out.
Man, here, I get out. Don't put your hands on me.
Well, then get out of the car.
She also still has her phone in her bra.
Yeah.
Come over here.
That's all she has in her bra? You sure there's not like some Christmas presents in there too?
So you really don't believe them after you was just
Listen.
believing my sister?
Listen to me.
Can I write something? Because that's not fair. Why I can't press charges?
Listen.
Y'all not answering my question, so I know
I'm
lying.
going to take the right cuff off, and you're going to take your phone out of your bra. Do you understand?
Why can I
Yes
press
or no?
charges?
Yes or no? Do you
Can you
understand?
take me to jail?
No, you're going to take your phone
No,
out.
I want to keep all my items. Just take me to jail because at this point it's not fair, and I didn't do nothing wrong. The other police officer said I didn't do nothing wrong. I just got here. I'm trying to get my stuff. Now they arrested
All right,
me.
get in the
for
car.
what?
Get in the car.
Please. Like at this point, no, nobody's not listening to me, and
Jill can take it out.
so we talking to the sergeant
For what?
because I don't think this is a fair analysis.
Analysis? Did I miss that page on statistics and data? I don't know what she's talking about.
Okay. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but again, that's an argument for court.
But this is not fair analysis. I didn't do nothing. I don't deserve to go to jail for getting my stuff. I didn't do nothing. I don't even live in Akron. I just got here a week ago, literally.
Okay.
I know that I have rights too. If I can't file charges on them, they can't. It's a two-way street. I worked with clients with this before. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a first-generation college student.
Okay.
This is the third time the police did came, and I've been cooperating with them. Okay, so I've been cooperating this whole time. I ain't never had an issue. Okay, the boys took. Now it's Christmas. She feel bad because she don't have her son. Everybody's talking about it. I give my opinion. Hey, I just don't want to take nobody's son, and he should go back. Everybody get mad. Everybody in the uproar. People talk about, well, you don't love us. You don't this. Do not this. I shouldn't have to carry the family on my back.
See? Now, all of that talk was not for the police officer. She's telling herself this. She's just verbally saying it. It's not, I say you should keep said the quiet part out loud. That's what she's doing right now.
I've only been doing that during childhood. That's the reason why I left in the first place. I'm a first-generation college student. So domestic violence, that's a felony and misdemeanor?
As long as you have no priors, it's a misdemeanor.
Can I get it off my record?
I don't know all the specifics.
See, they trying to ruin my fucking career. Them hating us. Yes! Why? They just want me to be miserable like they was. It's not my fault that she would overdose on crack and pissing me off.
So she's raising the possibility that the mother was on crack addiction for a while, which, yeah, you're going to have some really terrible behavior if you're strung out on crack. But again, she's talking about her career. She doesn't really care about that nephew, in my opinion. I mean, she might like him, but again, she tried to make everything about her. She could have offered her opinion, but she didn't give her opinion. She's telling them what to do.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and step out.
And then y'all say I don't have no rights at all? I know y'all wanted it.
You have rights. I told you that.
No, because what about me?
Phone chargers.
Why am I even here? I didn't even do nothing.
The woman was arrested and charged with domestic violence and criminal damage. If she's convicted, what do you think the punishment should be?
So I have my opinion, which I'm going to play at the end of this. And I don't know if it'll change, her mentality, but I do think it would be effective. It would help her, and it could be seen as a form of punishment.
Ready? Exercise! 1, 2, 3, 4. I love Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love Marine Corps.
I'm sorry. When I saw her, I just thought of Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket. I don't know why. They look nothing alike, but yeah, she's got some issues, and unfortunately, there is a significant number of social workers, people in the criminal justice system, child advocates, foster parents, foster care workers that suffered emotional trauma, and sometimes it can be beneficial because they can have more empathy and compassion for victims of abuse or neglect, and then other times they become narcissistic, like I'm pretty sure this woman was, because you're right, man. She does need to be humble. See, here's the thing with narcissism. I mean, there's all different types of narcissism. It's almost like a spectrum, but more often than not, a narcissist has very low self-esteem, and they start convincing themselves that they're better than what they are. You won't see a narcissist that has a lot of pride, but you'll see a narcissist that has an extremely enormous ego. And there's a difference between ego and pride. And for her, she hasn't made that distinction yet. Like I said, she's bragging about going to college, and then she's telling the cops, "Well, I did this at domestic violence, and I think the boy should go back with his mom." Like, okay, you're not an expert. You have no children. You've never raised any children, and according to you, you grew up in the system, which means that your childhood was severely scarred. Now, I commend her for going to school, but the thing I didn't talk about earlier that I can talk about now, her weight is a symptom of her low self-esteem, in my opinion. Because when people are that size, she's not old enough to be that size, and I don't think it's a glandular thing. I think she eats a lot of comfort foods, and it also almost gives her a barrier to keep people away from her. Because outside of people with extreme fetishes, she's not going to attract a lot of people. And I think that's a psychological thing. Like, I think subconsciously she's that size to kind of protect herself. And we don't know what she went through growing up in the system. And I want to make sure I say that. But at the same time, the other daughter, who probably went through abuse too when their mom was allegedly abusing, illegal drugs and narcotics, she's moved on. Like, she spoke rationally once she calmed down, but she was saying that, like, look, we went through our stuff, but it's not about us anymore. It's about the nephew. So she's focused on what can we do to help our nephew, as opposed to, well, you didn't do this for me, and you beat me up, and you bit me. Okay. You're showing a bite mark from what, 20 years ago? At this point, you got to get over it. But she's still harboring a lot. And I mean, she's harboring a lot of anger, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. And if she doesn't address that, she's going to have a very short life. So you have to go help me out. This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. That's right, Mandy. And her rifle was a $5 footlong. Maybe Nathan's famous. I don't know. So anyway, you had to go help Guy. Well, I hope you helped him. So yeah, that was one of the wilder videos. There's actually a couple of crazier videos. I'll probably show those in the next week or so. But that one stood out to me because of the other videos. They're normal knucklehead kind of things. They're funny, but they're normal knucklehead kind of things. She just kept screaming. That's why I kept putting it in the loop. Like, I'm a first generation college student. Like, everything kept going back to her. And then she wanted to play the victim. Well, my mom beat me and she has child endangerment charges and we had to grow up in the system. Okay. They're not trying to do that for the son. Mom, she was on crack. Nobody wakes up one day and says, hey, I want to be a crack addict. Mom probably had a lot of psychological scars too, but on the background. But my experience tells me like that dysfunction goes back generations. Like that's not, she might be a first generation college student, but she was not a first generation of child abuse. I'm like 100% sure about that. And that's why I was, I just wanted to put that out there. Like, I got a foot long the other night and it was $13.06. Well, they had to raise the prices because they put all their eggs in the Jared Fogle basket, and after his scandal, people don't hit Subway like they used to. So they had to go up in the prices now. And they're not even healthy. Wait, Nathan's Famous aren't good anymore? I used to love Nathan's Famous. I used to get those from Sonic. And then they opened up a Nathan's Famous in my downtown Philly. I used to, man, chili cheese dogs. Man, you want to talk about a pleasure in getting your arteries clogged up? Get a Nathan's Famous. So anyway, that's it for me. I'm about to get out of here because it's time for breakfast, and I don't know how long my dogs are going to voluntarily be quiet. So, Mandy, thanks for coming in. Guy, thanks for coming in. Who else did I miss? No, there was somebody else that came in here earlier today, too. Wait, I missed somebody. Wait, who'd I miss? Somebody else came in to say hi. If I miss you, I'm sorry. MobTube Chronicles, I hope you enjoy your vacation. Remember, separate picture for me and a separate picture for my nephew. Violet Witch, if you're out there. Yaya, Kamala Peace. Wind Whispers, you probably forgot again. I sent you a text message, though, to remind you, so you had to catch the replay. Hermes' mom. One last thing. I did want to say this. I don't know if it's going to get to her or not, but to Shyla's messy art, I don't know if you're still mad at me. If you are, I understand. But, I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me. We're still connected on TikTok, and I want to say that your artwork is amazing. It always has been, and I will continue to support you. So Brett's, if I'm going to have a hot dog, but on the grill. Grilled hot dogs are the best, actually. All right, you guys. Everybody, take care. Have a good night. I'm going to part out with something I like to do. So, everybody, be safe, be well, God bless, and I'll talk to you.
But there is one who was perfect, and that is Christ. And it's only through him that we can be right with God.
It's not by my moral conduct when my life runs out of time. Was I standing on my business by his righteousness or mine? Was I trying to justify myself all by myself or not? Did I believe in him by baptism? Ephesians 4 and 5. Oh my God. I know. Part from Christ I'm slime. You say you know sin and you just blind. Even believing, not seeing. Creed said, water word is how we get. Many mortals got beheaded. Believe the Lord, you won't regret it. What is this? 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 This is Christianity. Father, Son, and Spirit Trinity. God bearer through virginity. Bore the Son in his divinity. Bore the Son in his humanity. Sent the Saviors for my vanity. Baptism for remission of sin. This is Christianity. See, we hold the one that's justified by faith, apart from all the works of the law. This the essence in our Christian message. We made the mess to send Christ to the cross. The carnal mind says to walk in the flesh, that we can please God by our good deeds. We sin sick, please send us a Savior to save us from trying to save ourselves, please. That's the disease, that's the disease. Original sin, yes, that's the disease. And our actual sin, when we actively sin, is a manifestation of the way we conceive. Sweet the taste is the grace of our God. God the Father who sent us his Son to reconcile the world unto himself. The word and sacraments, that's how it's done. What is this? 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 This is Christianity. Father, Son, and Spirit Trinity. God bearer through virginity. Bore the Son in his divinity. Bore the Son in his humanity. Sent the Saviors for my vanity. Baptism for remission of sin. This is Christianity.